at the end of the month, there's going to be a couple things regarding the mascots that I will need your all's input on. So watch the Discord, as that's only this week and next week away. And yeah, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Let's get back into it. You all have entered the Tumbled Wench at Green Shield. As I had explained the scene, there's a table of 6 Shadahari citizens of some variety, at least by dress and accent. It cuts through the Green Shield parlance pretty well, and you all have heard it before. But yeah, a lot of locals, a lot of looks like hardworking folk. Not exactly like family restaurant style. There's no kids around here, but teams of guys probably were out, cutting wood, chopping wood, getting things ready for all the cooking fires and the warming fires. There's a couple people that might be residents, or they're dressed more for just casual outdoor fall attire, and they actually seem to have a basket probably full of mushrooms. Based on the little bulbous shapes underneath like the kerchief that's draped over it, and they're eating something. And there's a band playing some very pleasant music. Oh, you're gonna be drawing? All right, guinea pig. Well, draw away. Listen to us in the background, and I hope that we can inspire you, and you'll have a good time drawing. And also, hi Raven. If you were in earlier, I'm sorry I missed you, but thank you for sharing the Discord link. You all are absolutely invited to our table there, too. So you walk in, and it's nothing like the band stops playing, or, a couple heads probably turn, but that's almost reflexive. Hey, who's walked in? People might be expecting a friend. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, if you want to DM me a question or something, guinea pig, go ahead and do so. So yes, here you are. There's there's serving people going hither and thither. There's a barkeeper. There is you enter the lobby, and the saloon portion, like the inn portion's off to the side for food and drink. Though right in front of you is more of the actual like inn's front desk. Has all the little mail holders and key hooks and everything. And then there is a staircase off on the other side. That would there's a first floor hallway, or you can go up the stairs to the other floors there. If you recall, this Tumbled Wench does have a penthouse suite, as you all stayed in it before. So if you're feeling extra party of coiny, you could perhaps get the penthouse suite. But yep, there you go. You're at the front desk of the inn. You can just branch off and go right for food and drink, or you can get a room. There's a manager on call here.
Is there anyone gawking at us? Like lingering stares?
No. A couple people are looking. I mean, this is certainly an interesting crew, and if anyone kind of baps a friend on the shoulder and points, it's actually Mordecai. Maybe you're like, me, but the direction of it actually seems to be more towards Bright.
Yeah, I figured.
Well, does anyone oppose to us getting a room?
No, I don't mind. I mean, that's why we're here, right?
Yeah, let's get a room.
Do we want to go all out, or we want to just low profile this thing?
Whatever. We should make some waves. Show people that we're back.
I don't know that anybody's looking for us. Maybe that's good. It's usually bad when people are looking for us.
Yeah, so you're not wrong.
Yeah, I think we must stick to a moderately low profile. I mean, I don't mind sharing a room with all of you. I've shared plenty of rooms with all of you.
Oh, sure. It's not that. It's just...
Unless you're looking for some privacy.
No, it's not that. I mean... I don't want to make us... Why would we want to make a splash? What's the idea?
I'm not looking to make a splash. Unless somebody wants me to perform and then, recognize me or something. I don't see that.
I don't know. It's been like 2 years, and we only were here for like 3 days with that.
That's fair.
There's already a band playing, so it'd be kind of rude.
Yeah, why step on their toes? That's for sure.
Are they any good?
Are they any good?
Yeah, but these are all like simple, like traditional folk songs. You know, it would be hard to really mess them up because these are the songs that like everyone has known since childhood. So you'd have to really be, you know, incompetent with the instrument you're playing. And, you know, they're able to play their instruments decently, but the song variety is very traditional and simple.
They just play Rawhide over and over.
No. Mordecai hasn't written anything new, really, in a long time. So he doesn't have a new set, really. So he's, like, not really interested in performing right now. So.
He's trying to he's trying to figure out who and what he is.
Well, I'm gonna go order us a room.
Okay.
Yeah. No, go do that.
Could you also order me a pumpkin spice latte?
Pumpkin spice. I suppose it is that time of the year.
Well, he has all the money, so otherwise.
Yeah, I'm the party treasurer.
Now, don't say that too passionately. You're just
I look around.
You're like looking
I
off
look
to the
around
side, but also like 1,000 feet off, and you're just snacking. Like, yeah, I'm the treasurer.
Now I have to look around to see if there's any seedy-looking rogues that have taken attention to Mordecai now.
Well, there just so happens to be a dark and shady corner and a brooding stranger with a hooded cloak.
Oh, I wonder if he has a quest for us. I'm not interested if he does.
Nope.
So Mordecai's going to stay here and get a room. What are the rest of you all doing? I mean, you can look for seedy
For
stranger.
my latte.
You want your latte?
And I'm going to be talk to the Shadowhari folk.
Okay, Bright.
After I get the room, I'm gonna get everybody a tea or something. Maybe a latte. I don't know. I'll flip a coin on it. And
Yeah,
then
sure.
then join Cypher.
Just keep in mind, Bright plus caffeine.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know.
Bright well enough. I would probably understand where her limits are right now in order for the appropriate beverage.
Yeah. Okay.
We've been
So
traveling.
so that's all.
Right.
I guess probably I would probably want to go down and try to make friends in the common room. See if there's anybody who takes an interest in gnomes. Anybody
Sure.
that I could learn anything from.
Okay. All right. So, like, Bright is going to mill about the area here, trying to catch the vibe. Professor wants to go and take a seat with the Shadowhar. So I guess Norelai, that kind of leaves you if you want to get a table and wait on a drink while Mordecai is getting a room.
I mean, I think I'll just walk with Mordecai.
Oh, all right. So the two tieflings stay at the desk. Professor, yours will be pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna handle Bright's interaction first, so yeah, Bright, you are you walk around the common room, and as you are pacing by, you get a whistle in your direction, and there seems to be a group of young guys. They look like they were probably laboring throughout the day, and of the group that's there, it's a table of 8. One of them, there's one that's kind of like whistled to you and is beckoning you over. And most of the rest are like they're kind of like smiling and like they seem to be rather eager. And one of them is actually kind of like looking the other way, sitting on the bench here at the big table. Would you like to go over, or do you wish to ignore them?
What kind of whistle is it?
Just like a hey.
Yeah, I'll go over. Of course.
Okay. And you approach the person here, and he leans over and he's like, "Hey, my friend here really took a shine to you when he saw you, and I think he wanted to tell you something."
I hope it's nothing bad, because I don't have anything in between Tasha's laughter and finger of death.
260. There's no in between.
Sure, I'm game.
So you like he points over, and as you're passing by, like the one guy who is facing away, like you start coming over, and he almost like turns as you're approaching, and a couple of the other people at the table are snickering too. But it's not like he's not getting up to dash away, so eventually you can cut him off at the pass as he's pivoting on the end of the bench. Very shy young guy, human, probably late teens, early 20s, pretty decent build. Looks like he does physical labor as well. So he's got that kind of stocky, brawny look, short shock of hair, and then some, not a full beard. It's kind of faint. And he has his hands in his lap, and he's looking down as you approach. But you pretty much fill his vision just by walking up to him in that regard. And so he looks up at you. And his friend says, the one that whistled you over, "Well, go ahead. Tell her." Do you wish to say anything or do anything? It's not that warm, and his cheeks are really red.
That's interesting. Yeah, so I'll say, I don't know. I'm actually a little bit lost for words. Out of character, not in character. Okay. I'm sure she has something great to say. Out of character, I'm not sure what to say. So I'm just gonna go, "Yeah, hi. Did you have something for me?"
Well, come on, Tet. Say we taught you. And he looks back and looks at you, and he starts. Technically, we could call it speaking Gnomish. He's saying words, and the things that he says are Gnomish words, and there's probably implications to them, but it's in no way the correct way to say the things that are said. Like he looks at you and he says things like, "Your grapes are tender," and oh shoot, I had a couple really good lines and they fell out of my ear, but just stuff like, "I am book glue for you."
Oh, this is so cute and sad.
Oh, this poor boy.
Yeah, there's a ship now, totally a ship. Okay, well, I might be laughing, but Bright's not laughing. Is there a seat that's available, like, next to?
The bench is full.
Oh, okay.
Because it's 8 people. So it's 4 to a side. I mean, you're small enough, you might be able to scoot onto the bench if you get someone to scoot over. And as he's saying these things, the 7 others, like especially the one who called you over, is like is trying to contain stifled laughter here, as he's saying things that.
He's saying nonsense.
Yeah, nonsense with perhaps implications, but the implications may or may not be what he thinks that they are.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll hop up. I'll just sit on the table. That way I'm probably about their height.
Oh, sure. Okay, you hop up there. And he looks and says, woman's hair is juicy in Gnomish.
I mean, it's. I think the word you're looking for is floofy, not juicy.
Are you saying that to him in Gnomish, or are you saying that in common in response?
I'll say it in Gnomish.
In Gnomish, he looks at you and he looks over to his friend, and his friend's like,
okay, so here's the first few things. But they're all speaking. Okay, so I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be nice to him. Poor little sad thing. So the first thing I'm gonna say is, okay, so here's the thing. We need to lose all your friends. They're just in the way. So there's a little. Is there a free table?
Yeah, I'm sure there's actually like a little 2-person. Unfortunately, it's gonna be one of those tall tables though, like with the tall chairs.
Yeah, that's okay. They're all tall chairs.
Well, all right.
I'll just climb up it
Taller.
like a ladder.
Yeah, all right. They actually might have that here. I mean, there was a small gnomish community, so they probably have little step stools and stuff.
Yeah, I'll just climb up it. It's fine.
And
Accommodated.
booster seats.
Yeah. Well, they probably used to have actually low tables, but they're probably all gone now.
Yeah, there's not really a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I could bring him over to the table, we'll look over and see what his friends are doing before I start saying anything.
Sure. Yeah, you drag him over, and there's like a couple, a whistles and cheers, and the one friend is like, "Say the thing, you got her." And he looks back, and as you go to the table, he looks at you, and the thing that he says is accurate in Gnomish, but it will not conform to my self-imposed PG-13 restriction. It's a sort of like, hey, I like your E, and I want to your E, and
goodness.
but he's saying
Oh,
it like
goodness.
very genuinely, like almost like, oh, it's a beautiful evening, and I love your head, but it's coming out as
It's in earnest.
he's speaking earnestly. He wants to convey something. Maybe he wants what he's saying, but he doesn't know what he's saying. But yeah, it comes out as like, this is like the most intense, like gnomish. The things that are being directly stated. He's using a very active gnomish phraseology as well.
Goodness sakes. Yeah.
Question.
Okay.
Real quick question. Now it's not a language that I have that I'm fluent in.
Mm-hmm.
But given the fact that I hung around gnomes a lot during my time in various different academic institutions, would I be able to pick up the gist of what's being said?
Yeah, I will say yes, because one of the first things you learn in a foreign language are the cuss words and the private parts. So, yeah, you can hear him like blurt out like he's tripping over his own words. Yeah, you can hear a couple choice things that you've heard colleagues in the faculty office say when they thought maybe no one else was around.
I don't have anything.
Yeah, well, Bright, you would see Cypher kind of look towards your table with an eyebrow raised like, did I just hear him correctly?
I think Mordecai has also turned his head and gone like, what?
It's
Norley specifically already learned the bad word, so she awesomely.
it's like French. Everybody knows the cuss words in Gnomish.
I'm pretty sure Bright taught us.
But no, she probably wouldn't have. When does
no.
Bright ever say a cuss word?
No, Bright is
She doesn't say them, but she's willing to teach.
she knows them.
She knows him.
The stream is PG-13, but Bright is still G-rated.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Okay, so here's the thing. So this will have to be in common, unless he's not a tiefling, is he?
No, he's a human.
No, he's a human. Okay, so this has to be in common. Now that I know Infernal, I want to use it everywhere.
Including the cuss words and body parts?
Well, I mean, if necessary. But okay, so here's the thing. So first of all, do you have a grandmother or grandfather?
He looks at you kind of baffled. You can speak our language?
Yeah, of course I can.
Oh, he looks over and he looks really pissed off at his friends who are howling at their table. Like the one is like doubled over and is just wheezing at this. Yeah, I have grandparents.
Okay, so what about great-grandparents? Are they still alive?
I have a great grandmother on my mother's side that's still alive.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm older than she is. And that doesn't count like the 3,000 years I was undead, by the way.
What? Are you sure you're speaking our language? Do you know what you're saying?
What did they tell you? You know, there used to be a lot of gnomes that lived here. And it's kind of sad that they would use that to like make these horrible stories up that aren't even true. So what did they tell you?
Well, I mean, I've always kind of liked gnomes. They're always so friendly, and I saw you come in and you're so bright.
I sure am.
I told them.
I get that a lot.
They saw and they knew that I kind of have a thing for gnomes, and well,
yeah,
I wanted to tell you that I thought that your hair looked really bright.
It is. Yeah, it's nice and pink. You can't see right now because it's just a sheep, but it is.
and I hear that I hear that gnomes always smell delicious, and so I wanted to let you know that I thought gnomes were delicious, not to eat in that way. Of course not. No, why did I even say that? This is really awkward now. But
yeah, okay. So I'm gonna prestidigitate up a whole bunch of strawberry smell.
Okay. Did you? Is it true that when you pass wind, it actually never stinks?
No, it's not.
See,
it's a magic spell. Also, stop talking about things like this. Just talk normal.
He's now like super. I'm he doesn't say it, but I'm super self-conscious right now.
Yeah, that's an improvement, honestly.
And he's stumbling over because he was getting into the whole thing. Yeah, when my buddies rip, I'm like, oh, it's terrible. And then you're like, no, just
stop. Just stop. Okay, so that's okay. So step one.
Okay.
Yes. Step two. What have your friends told you about gnomes?
That he looks around. He leans in and he starts discussing. He starts discussing locker room rumors about gnomes, their preferences, and the particulars of being very close friends with one.
Yeah.
And
So here's the thing. Check out the size difference, right? So it's something that's kind of tough. I mean, like, do any of your friends prefer like Goliaths?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
because the size difference is about the same, and it's really kind of awkward, right? It just doesn't work because of the size difference. I mean, you can make it work. I mean, if you're in love, it works out, but it's not easy. So
Well, I
For
mean,
the most part,
there's
and there's
that, and I'm not
exceptions.
saying that would be bad with you, or I mean, at all, like with anyone. But I wasn't
Yeah.
even thinking that far ahead. I just thought, I mean, just
I
to
know.
have,
I know.
are you as warm as I was told gnomes are?
Like metaphorically, or what?
Can
Like,
I
what
touch
are
your
you?
forehead? Why did I ask you if I could touch your forehead?
Of
What
course
is
you can
wrong
touch
with
my
me?
forehead. You can ruffle my hair. It's good luck.
Really?
Yeah.
Shaky hand.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, but don't ever do it without asking, because that's impolite. But you can
Why did I
reference
do
it.
that?
Good luck.
His friends again are just.
Okay, so here's
No, thank you,
here's-
thank you. Oh, this is the only time in my life this is gonna happen, and I stepped in it. I didn't step on you. It's not a short thing. Why did I say that? Of course you are. You're a gnome.
Yeah, okay. So here's the thing about gnomes, we're actually pretty tough to offend. So just don't worry about it.
Okay.
But also whatever your friends have been telling you, most of it's not true. And also number 3, they're all really kind of making fun of you for this, and it's really not very nice of them. And I feel like I should help you get back at them somehow, but
Didn't
I
I
don't
speak
know.
Gnomish too,
don't
though?
know.
What did I
you
say?
It wasn't polite. Now, here's the thing. If a pickup line will work, any line will do. But not those.
Oh no. What? You got to tell. What did I say? I'm glad I didn't offend. Oh.
Cypher. Yes, Cypher raised her head. Right, if you would like, I could tell him privately.
Shoo. This is me. Go away. That's a friend of mine. Don't worry about it. See, gnomes
Go
have
hang
human
out with the
friends.
jock
It's totally
Shadowheart.
normal.
Come on.
Yeah, it's totally normal for gnomes to have human friends. I mean, it used to be back when there were more gnomes. There aren't that many of us left. Okay,
So I was saying bad stuff the whole time?
I mean, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't very polite. It's
Like
not
he
the way
just
you'd
goes
open
from
a
like
conversation.
rosy-cheeked embarrassed to like pale. Like you watch the color just drain from him.
Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you that, but it's true. You should know what your friends are putting you up to. I don't know why they're doing it. It's not very nice of them. So anyway, I feel like we should get back at them somehow. You know, without hurting them, just like harmlessly. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you.
I just wanted to tell you that you were pretty.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate that. I guess they didn't tell you the real meanings of the words, but I'll tell you those.
Oh, okay.
So here, let me write it down for you.
Yeah.
So I'll
Oh, I can't read your language. I only learned what they were telling me when we were.
Can you
chopping
read
wood.
your language?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll write it in common then.
The phonetic pronunciation in common.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I know most of my letters. Common's
Okay,
a really
well-
dumb language, though. I and E and just all these different
Yeah.
sounds.
I mean, but in Gnomish you have 14 vowels, so it's a lot harder.
Oh. I'll do my best. Well, so I mean, I'm all for getting them
And like
back.
in Common, where like sometimes Y is a vowel, but it just depends on what word it's in. In Gnomish, sometimes Y is a vowel, but it just depends on what mood it's in. So it's a whole different kind of situation.
Tenses and moods. I like it.
Yeah, it's a nice pun there.
I'm
I
past
like that
sad.
one.
Like German.
So what is your proposal? I mean, he's gonna come back to you, and you're getting all of the, like, all the like college prank stuff. You know, like, oh, you know, I bet I could put his hand in a bucket of water when we sleep back at the communal cabin at the logging camp, or, you know, oh, wouldn't it be funny if I like put some dog poop in his shoe or something. Yeah, so I mean, you're getting that level of stuff back. You know, this is like, you know, more physical pranks and stuff that is more in that, you know,
Yeah.
brusque style of humor.
Okay, let me tell you what I'd like to do, okay? What you should do, I think this will be good. This will be something they'll appreciate. Do they all like spend the night near each other? Like, do they all live in like a dorm or a house together?
Yeah, we're all in a shared cabin as we're contracted to chop wood.
And it's not too far from here, is it?
Can I talk about chopping down trees by you? Is
Of
that
course.
okay? Oh.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, as long as it's responsible forestry, you don't want to clear cut because that destroys the habitat for the animals. And sometimes the trees, they don't grow back right if you're, not cautious. But of course, it's okay to chop down trees. You have to make houses.
Okay.
But it's not too far from here. Is it just like right outside of town, or is it like all the way off in the forest somewhere?
Well, it's on the other side of town on the outskirts. We came into
That's so
town
far.
to just drink and have a night together. A lot of the guys pick on me because I'm the new one in the group right now, and they're always pulling pranks.
Yeah. Does the Tumbled Wench have a stable?
Mm-hmm.
That's good enough. Okay. Well, let me know when they are they. Let me know when you guys leave. I'll send you. What here? Just have the barmaid or the barkeep or somebody come up and get me. You can have a silver piece to pay them with to come tell me when they're ready to leave.
Oh.
And then I'll help you get back at your friends.
What are you gonna do? Are you just gonna stay at this table?
No, I'll be up in my room. That's why you want to have somebody come up to get me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we're probably gonna be here for a while yet. Sun's only just
That's
gone
okay.
down, and we've only gotten our first round.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
he'll go back and like, should I? What should I tell him? Like,
Just have them come get me when you're ready to leave. That's all.
did I impress you?
A little. Just a little.
Oh, all right. He actually kind of like peps up at that, and he slides down off the tall chair.
But not with your gnomish. That was terrible. Don't do that again.
He yeah, he looks back and nods, but he has a little bit of a puffed out chest and a little bit of a spring in his step as he makes his way back, and they're all like, hey, how'd it go? And he sat down, but he still has kind of like just a dumb grin on his face, but he is sitting over his drink, and he's
Okay. So here's the prank.
okay.
The prank is, when they come get me and they're ready to leave, so he's gonna send the barkeep or the barmaid or somebody up to come get me when they're all ready to leave,
Mm-hmm.
and I am going to go in the stable and I'm gonna look for the manure pile.
Okay. Am I getting a Back to the Future vibe out of this, or?
Oh, I
much.
don't know.
Pretty much. And
All right.
then
We'll
what
say
I'm
his
gonna
friend's name is Biff, and
Yeah, when his friend's name is Biff. So, what I'm gonna do is when they get ready to leave, I'll come down, and I'm gonna put my scrying up in the stable so
Okay.
that I can see it. Okay, and then when they all walk out the front door, I'm gonna cast Scatter on them,
is that-
and I'm going to
for-
teleport them into the manure pile.
Oh. Okay. All right. What level spell is this? Just out of curiosity.
6.
This is why you don't mess with gnomes. They will blow a 6th level
Don't mess
spell
with
slot
wizards.
just to dip you in a pile of horse crap. All right.
Fantastic.
Uh,
Great use of a spell. Well done.
Norlai and Mordecai, you successfully get was it a room for all of you? Was it a communal room, or
Yeah.
did you want the penthouse?
Kind of like a moderate room.
Okay. All right, moderate room. Are you going back into the dining area, or do you want to retire for the evening, or just kind of be quiet? No, you, Mordecai, were going up to the shrine.
I was gonna go to the shrine, but I probably overheard what was going on with Bright, given the guy was being a little loud. And a bit of wave of embarrassment goes over Mordecai.
Your
As he
cheeks turn
remembers-
purple.
As he remembers he's kissed her in this city.
Oh, yeah.
That's embarrassing, and he walks out.
That's right.
Wait,
You did get a
Mordecai,
smooch in.
my latte.
My latte.
He gives everybody their drinks. And then briskly walks out the door to go towards the shrine and the temple. Because embarrassed. Embarrassed for him and embarrassed for himself.
As one would be.
Well, it's all right. I
I'm
mean,
going to enjoy my latte by myself.
Bright's hair is very juicy, so it's okay, Mordecai. I don't blame you. All right, so Norlai, you're given money by Mordecai to get a drink. All right. Yeah, he seems to be in a rush to go cool off. He's kind of heated, like he has a little bit of a flush to him. So yeah, he steps out into the cool night air. You sit down. Yeah, it seems like Bright is hopping off of a table and is going to go upstairs. You were probably given a key to give to her by Mordecai, so you can give her the key and just sit down at the table yourself if you want.
I just want to order my latte.
Okay. No side quest of giving the room key to your friend?
No, she can come get it from me.
Okay. Oh, someone's grumpy and needs a snack. Bright? Okay. Norlai is walking from the
It's fine.
from the counter.
I'm happy to pick up the key from Norlai,
Okay, she's
as if Bright needs keys.
well.
I mean, you need to figure out what room we're supposed to be in.
There we go.
Okay, there's that.
But you could always use a spell slot to find it out from Norlai.
I'm not gonna do that. Also, I don't have the gnomish mind probe prepared.
Ah, okay. All right, so the trade-off is made. Norlai, you can sit at the tall table on a tall chair, and you can order a tall pumpkin spice latte. It does cost a lot because it is a specialty drink that's sort of in reserve for those with coin. And
I just give her a gold piece. It's fine.
You'll get change back on it, but they're impressed that that you're coming up with that, and you'll be offered very good service.
How much was room, by the way?
What's that?
How much was the room, by the way?
Well, you went for more of a modest one. I wanted to say a modest room was 2 silver pieces, so it's not exactly luxury appointments. And unless any of you wanted to snuggle, one of you might want to sleep on the floor.
Yeah. Well, I'll find a chair or sofa or something to sleep on.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
take up very much space, so.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so Mordecai, you head out, and we'll get to you, Professor. Since we're still in the inn, you do walk over to the Shadowhar, and they are speaking in their native Shadowhar. But as you approach, they'll look over at you a bit quizzically, and they'll switch to Shadowhari accented common. And just who are you to approach us?
And I'm going to respond in Shadowhar. Friend, looking for a little bit of information.
All 6 of them give you a very curious look. Well, you speak our language well.
I would hope so. I've been studying it for a very long time.
But your accent is Mesotopian. Are you an old family?
I am. House Cypherius.
Let's see if that means anything to him. One moment. Yeah, it sounds like an old name. Can't really place it, though.
Yes, it is, old indeed. May I
Well-
sit?
Well, it depends. What do you want?
I was hoping to ask a few questions about, a new hill that's popped up outside of town.
They all kind of look around at each other and... Can't say I've heard about that. Sure, pull up a chair at the end of the table.
And he will do just that. Give me just a moment, because my pizzas finally decided to arrive.
Sure, go get that, and we'll cut outside real quick for Mordecai, and then we'll come back to your questions.
Yes.
So, Mordecai, meanwhile, outside the Tumbled Wench, you are walking through town. It's dark and cold. There are still people out because it's not midnight or anything yet. So there's still activity. And you even see that there's a family walking to their home, and their kid has a blemp, but it's on a leather leash and harness. But this city blemp actually has some accoutrements on it. Like, it almost has like a little draping and some other little accessories that make it look like a very fancy, like, floating thing. I mean, the country kids just sort of put a string around it and carried it around. This one actually looks not posh necessarily, but accessorized.
Interesting.
Does it have a flat face?
It can.
It's one of those fancy flat face cats.
Yeah, it has like a rhinestone collar. You know, it has a dyed leather leash. Probably like a couple little bells, like tinkle, tinkle, tinkle in the night.
And they just seem like pets.
Yeah, they're being treated as such. It seems to be
And
very
this is a
casual.
new development because of the flowers.
Yeah, if you
So
believe,
I understand.
that these things came about because of the encroaching flowers.
Did I prepare that? Nope, I didn't prepare that. Well, I'm a dummy. Alright, that's something to keep in mind for the future. I am simply going to head to... I'm gonna head to the temple.
Okay.
They erected a temple. I'm gonna see what that temple is like.
Yeah. It's not super huge. It's not like a dominant feature of the city, but it is bigger than a little shrine. It might be the shrine itself might be the size of a small house. So a couple people could fit in there comfortably, you know, to pray, to observe. It was for people passing through who are of that faith. You know, there's a donation box, probably a couple people in town that were clergy of that style. Now the temple is built next to it and is larger. It's not a tremendously large building, but then again, we're talking a small house to, you know, something like a big 2-story house that's next to it. However, going inside, there's not 2 floors. It would just be the size of that, as opposed to just a smaller thing off to the side. And entering a Shadowhar temple to Ouijas is different. It is a lot darker. The black coloration is very prominent. That you don't get that kind of celebration or observance of death by the way of the ossuary, which puts the bones on display to remember that these were once people too, to remember the past, to venerate ancestors, to understand that that death is a part of all of us, because I mean, those are our bones and we have bones and so did they, etc. You know, maybe one day you could be put on display so that other people could gaze upon you. So while morbid, it does carry that sense of respect, of ancestral recognition. This is much more. There is The noun is a sepulcher. There is an adjective that is of that too. Sepulchral, I think. Sepulchral.
Sepulchral.
Yeah.
Sepulchral.
Yeah. That's what it is.
As in sepulchral. As in sepulchral primordial. See, Magic the Gathering teaches you things.
So it's a lot more stoic. It is made out of if there's bones, it's the bones of the earth, because it's very stone is very prevalent. You're not seeing bones on display, but you are seeing carvings. And interestingly enough, something that catches your eye in here too, Mordecai, is on the inside of this building, there are a lot of names that are carved into the walls. Now you're not seeing anything that's like people are buried here. There might be people, but it's not like they're being interred in the walls. But the listing style seems very familiar to you.
Familiar in what way?
You've seen this in architecture before.
Like the ones in Hell.
Yeah.
Does it give me bad vibes?
It's giving you a reminder that now that you're in this place, the architecture, the Shadowheart architecture does resemble, or maybe it's the other way around, does resemble that large tower that you were in while you were in Oiho. Very vast, like more vast than what the people who would use it might need. Those who perhaps contributed in some way, their names are a part of the building. You're also getting just carvings of scenes, and these are scenes of death and dying, or just other symbols that are venerated in your style of the faith. But you might actually have a skull, because that skull belonged to someone. That was a real person that lived and died, had a life, etc. This is like a skull that is carved into a rock. The symbolism will feel more weighty. It feels like more cold. Like you're not a person. You're back to the earth, or that you as death is a function, not as a state of being. Which would kind of go into that aesthetic, especially like, hey, we put ghosts in our engines to make us move, because now that you're dead, you can serve the living, kind of a thing. You're a function. You're not a respectable entity that was or continues in some undeadly state.
So thinking back on the ghosts powering ships, does that strike me, given that I'm a cleric of Ouijas now, does that strike me as something that Ouijas deems abhorrent?
With everything you remember from you going to temple as a child, you go to your Ouija Sunday school and whatnot. This type of control over the dead would be immoral. Because you are using your power and your influence over someone who was a person. And
not allowing the soul to go to pass on.
Yeah, and even if that's not as a reward, even if it's as a punishment, you are helping them escape punishment for being a bad person by containing them. Or if they've been a good person, you're preventing them from moving on into whatever. Yeah. So it's and so by that regard, mechanically speaking, this more like pilgrim Protestant version of Ouijas is more like the grave domain than it is the death domain. Though I mean, you can find death cleric. I mean, Celine was one too. But her study was more in that realm. But you're gonna find more like death clerics among the Shadowheart,
where they're controlling the undead and the thereof.
Yeah. So it's not even like the study or dipping toes into it to understand it. It's actually the employment and use of very, direct necromantic magic to raise, to summon, to control. to do biddings, to take care of this stuff. And so in this new way of thinking, their engines are abhorrent because it would be kind of like a form of slavery. Or if not, then it would be almost something. If it's not slavery, it would be almost like a kind of a domination, or it'd be like a child abuse kind of a thing, where you have an entity that isn't necessarily aware of everything that it is, and you're manipulating that entity. Does that make sense?
Okay.
And because many undead aren't aware that they're dead, or they don't really have the faculties, so it would fall into what we might consider like elder abuse or child abuse, where you have another person who may not be functional or aware, and you're manipulating and abusing them in some financial way or even physical way, because that's why we have child labor laws, etc., and whatnot. So that's our real world sort of take, or what you could feel as Mordecai growing up in Mesomasca about the use of corporeal and incorporeal entities.
He's always felt that sort of thing has been taboo. Even just manipulating a corpse has always been a little bit of something that most Mesomascans shy away from, even if it's convenient. And so I'm just imagining that Mordecai's getting some really he's not sure that he likes it, and that it's kind of overshadowing what's already established here. Not that he's condemning it per se, but he's more along the lines of, I don't know that this is going to mesh well.
Okay.
Or that it's like, because of their beliefs and their use of corpses and souls, that he feels weird about it. It's different. And if he believes, I suppose that's one thing that he's probably going to do is ritual cast commune.
Oh,
and
okay.
specifically ask, is the Shadahar's usage of your name abhorrent to Weejas? If Weejas doesn't answer, then her proxy.
Okay. Also, McGruber, thank you very much for the re-up.
By the way, that's the text for commune. Yes or no questions.
You all are getting... The audience can't see it, but you as the players are getting sniffed.
I love Takiti face.
There's a cat off screen here, everyone. So if you got a cat buddy emote, Raven, I saw Ravenstar post them earlier. But yeah, meow. I know. Yeah, you were sniffing them over here. Look. All right, so here you got to move your butt, ma'am. You were covering up. I know you're dusting my monitor with it. Hang on, over here. You contact your deity or divine proxy and ask up to 3 questions that can be answered with a yes or no. You must ask your questions before the spell ends. It's a minute. You receive a correct answer for each question. Divine beings aren't necessarily omniscient, so you might receive unclear as an answer. If a question pertains to information that lies beyond the deity's knowledge, in a case where a one-word answer could be misleading or contrary to the deity's interest, the GM might offer a short phrase as an answer instead. If you cast the spell, okay. And you were asking if their practice is abhorrent?
Yes, to her specifically. Because it feels bad to me, but I
Yeah.
don't know if that would feel bad to Weejas. Because, culturally speaking.
You will hear. You will actually hear in Celine's voice, no. It's a one-word answer, but there you go.
Am I gonna find something important about how to stop Shomaruth at the mound?
Let's see. Are you going to find something important on how to stop Shonaruth at the mound? No.
Is there something important on Mesomasca to defeating Shotaruth?
Yes.
All right. I feel happy about those answers. Feel weird about having done a ritual at this temple, but I feel happy about the answers.
Bringing up the image I did over here, where you're at is a smaller version of a part of Selter's mansion. So at some point she must have scooped up elements of, or even a temple itself, because of the way that the structure is, and that sort of dark, like, brooding motif. It's hearkening you back to that part of her captain's quarters, quote unquote.
Okay. I'm kind of going to look around.
Mm-hmm.
And going through, like, the imagery and things like that, and everything that's here, does any of it strike me as something noteworthy to like Shonaru's existence or anything like that, or is it really just religious iconography and religious history that I find here?
No, there's nothing glowing green, and there's nothing particularly hairy. It would be meditative symbols, but again, like the skulls here, just they have cold, empty eyes, and the skulls back in the ossuary, again, maybe it brought you comfort because at least they were people. You could visit, Grandpa and Grandma again, or you knew at one point those eyes were as angry as yours have been, were as sad as yours have been, were as happy as yours have been. The eyes that are carved in here have never felt those. It's remote, foreign, or distant. So in that sense, it's probably a little creepy, even though it's still a skull and whatnot. But what you are finding that is different. So there's similarities in layout. A lot of it is going to be the same in that regard. But what you are seeing is against the dark stone, or at least it's painted stone if it's not naturally, you see in many different languages.
There's that saying again. All things in time.
But it's written in Gnomish. It's written in Mesotopian Common. You're finding it in all the local languages. Though it is more prominent in Shadowhari, which uses mostly the same alphabet, just different inflections and ways to spell out and arrange the words.
Which I don't necessarily know, question mark. But okay. Alright. I'm going to leave here and go to the shrine and kind of just hang out there for a bit and kind of trying to see if anything noteworthy about Celine has kind of permeated into the.
Real quick,
into
before
that at
you
all.
leave, I want you to roll an investigation for me.
Oh, okay. Just a standard investigation.
Yeah.
I'm gross at this. That's a 16.
16.
It's a flat die roll.
You turn to leave after, you're regarding this and you're looking at the iconography and, you're looking for possible clues or things. As you turn to leave, you see that once more the statement, all things in time, is written above the exit behind you. It is written in Infernal, not the Tiefling variety. We're talking the Oiho, like the original variety. Which, if we want to call it Abyssal, I guess we could, but, this old Infernal. It is written in that language as well.
Does hell still have hold on this plane? That's a question. How weird. And given what I know about the ties between the Shadowhar and Hell, is there some kind of conclusion I can draw from that? Aside from that they're related?
Other than this would have been unknowable to you without you having gone to Oiho. It would have looked like weird symbols. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it'd be Dwarven or something, because you don't see a lot of their language because they're a very isolated people in Mesotopia, let alone the fact that they're all pretty much cloistered up north. So it would have just looked kind of weird. Yeah, so maybe it's an off dialect, or maybe there's other people, further to the east that the borders the empire in that regard. Since Mesotopia, for the most part, it's pretty temperate. It's nice. People just do their own thing. They all share the same sea. They're kind of a common people in that, cloistered area. But now that you have that, it would seem that there is a connection, but this is perhaps backing up that there is, or at least was, but maybe still is, a connection to Oiho, of manipulation, of worship, of just contact, something about there that has been joined in.
And that could be the stem in some ways of the Shadowheart religious practices, at the very least, and permeated them culturally. Very interesting. Well, I'm gonna go to this shrine
Okay.
and kind of shake off the bad vibes. And
Okay. It's more comforting being surrounded by bones. It's warm. It's, you know, not the cold, smooth surfaces.
mm,
You know what? I'm going to take one step back from that.
mm,
And I am going to say that there, as I indicated, there are artistic scenes rendered in the stone as well, and you're seeing a lot of common symbolism, though you're seeing extra scenes where there are characters that are, smaller characters, humanoid in shape, that are going through a process of apparently like devouring a great beast, and in so doing, it would appear that at the end of the carving sequence that they are bigger or stronger, that they have horns and tails like the great beast did that was being eaten, and that the remains of the beast were then set forth, like the figures are all sort of, the small figures are pointing in a direction, and the remains of the beast, like a very simple etched skeleton, seems to be plodding off to, I guess, do something.
like they're commanding a skeleton? That kind of a conclusion?
Yeah.
Huh. Defeated the beast and then commanded its corpse to do whatever they wanted. That's not frightening at all. What kind of a beast is it?
Dragon.
Dragon. Ooh.
It's kind of a generic looking, like, I don't know. If I tell you, hey, can you draw a brontosaurus? You're like, yeah, kind of long neck, kind of a derpy head, you know, big thing with a tail. So it's like a generic looking dragon. You've seen a lot. You know, you've seen dragons, but you've seen more detailed renditions. This is like, this gets across to even children what, you know, a dragon looks like.
Right. Okay. It doesn't really have any other images that would depict more of the story after that fact, or is it just up to that?
It is. No, it is portraying. It is portraying a scene of a great beast and little people, and the great beast is like pointing at the towards or like past the little people. Then there's the scene of the little people eating the beast, and then there's a scene of the beast doing what the little people now with horns and tails are commanding.
Okay. All right. I suppose we can assume what happened after that because we have the world we live in now. All right.
Okay, so you take off from here, and you make your way to the small shrine. It's not as grandiose as the ossuary is, but there are still bones of the faithful who have been used as decoration. I not even entered or interred, but you know, have been used as a part of here to help build this place, and There's little. There are names, but all the names are all like on little placards that would be more or less identifying the individual people or at least parts of them. Whereas in the other place, it was there's the names, but they're all just stacked on top of each other, like it's like everyone's just a generic building block instead of here this corner is, is made possible by this person, kind of a thing. So smaller, a lot more cloistered. There, and just like there was in the other place, I don't know if you wanted to break into the donation box, but there is a donation box in the temple, but there's also one in the shrine. But yeah, there's a couple little benches where you can sit and meditate. There's a little corner that is surrounded by images of death so that you can reflect, like there was on the big ossuary back in the big city over. There's no real, like... Well, I mean, we're seeing Celine here, but that was from the past scene, but it's... I know you're looking for signs of her, but it's not like, ooh, a big poster up on the wall or anything.
No, yeah. Just kind of walking around to see if there's something of a similar nature to the temple, as far as, like, what prominent story might have been here. If there is one, and which may not, because there's plenty of bones. The bones probably tell their own story.
Roll a religion. You're becoming a man of the cloth. You need to study the text that's been passed down and to understand more than just the words.
Gross.
So, with an 8, nothing's jumping out at you. It's probably good because I've been a skeleton. But it's... Maybe you got to spend a little bit more time in places like these to come to an understanding. It feels like there's something deeper. Like, everything is supposed to have meaning. And maybe just, again, as a kid, you always just took it as surface level. Like, yeah, I get it, our uncle's over there, and, that was great-grandpa, and, the neighbor's over, they're the ones who did this, and they got their corner. I get it, come on, Mom and Dad. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
But it does feel as if there's something more, but you just haven't reached that level of understanding and or even appreciation of what is here to get what's beyond that.
Okay.
But yeah, it feels more in some variety here than just a place. Would you like to do anything else here?
Not particularly. Nothing that really needs to be divulged into. He's probably just gonna sit for a while and kind of really, do that thinking that probably isn't gonna come to him today.
Okay.
But
you can contemplate.
But
Would you
that,
like to
then
leave
go back
anything in the
to
donation box?
Yeah, I'll leave a couple of gold. I'll leave 3 gold and a couple of silver. Some 8 silver.
Sure. I trust you as the accountant to mark it off.
I have
3 gold and 8 silver. Plink, plink. It does sound like there's other coins in the box too, so you're not the only one contributing.
It makes my accounting easier because then I don't have to keep track of it.
We're not tithing, we're rounding. Okay.
That's really all. He's happy to just explore this. It's new, it's exciting, and he was looking for something new anyway. So, and after that, he's gonna go back to the Tumbled Wench.
Okay. Okay, so we come back to the Tumbled Wench now that Lethality has his pizza. and has hopefully stuffed his face with yummy, yummy goodness.
I have consumed a bit of it, yes.
And you had sat down with the Shadowhar that were here, and you were speaking their language, which means that I don't. Which means I almost say this at a detriment. I don't speak with a funny accent, as fun as it is. But yeah, they sound normal to you. You sound normal to them. Continue what you were talking about here.
Yes. So I wanted to ask you fellas some questions about the, apparently it used to be called the Forest of Faces.
Ah. Yeah, we heard rumor about that. It was a part of what we understood was some regional folklore. You see, we're here from Oldport, and we wanted to go mushroom hunting, as we were told this is the best place for it.
Oh, you're here from Oldport.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
that
spent some
makes
time in the
sense.
woods. I can't say we went out to a place that's been known to be haunted.
You know, apparently there was a group of Shadowheart that came through and removed the trees of faces, thus leaving a bare hill.
Oh, well then, so much more reason why we should be here. It sounds like we're doing a favor to the locals, taking care of stuff
Yes.
that was spooking them out.
Yes, I was actually happening to look to see how it is that they did it, as I have a team of researchers, and don't tell anyone about this, but I'm looking for a way to deal with the thing at the crater.
Oh yeah, oh we've heard about that. Our ships have been harassing that thing for a great long while.
Yes, my team and I are currently looking for a way to do a little bit more than just harass it, if you know what I mean.
Oh, so much the better. In fact, if you have information, look, I get it. You're from here. It sounds like you got the old blood and you came over to talk to us for some info. I'm not saying I have an in per se, but there's the military, the Shadowhar military at station here. We're always looking. He didn't say we. That was me slipping up. But like he doesn't say we.
He probably says like they.
Yeah, they're always looking for, especially if you're from here and you want to help out, you want to reach out to others to show that we're not here to we're not here to conquer, we're not here to murder or to outbreed you all and replace you with ourselves. There's a lot of stories about us, and well, the more of you that want to join and facilitate a peaceful incorporation, well, so much the better. We're here. We're here from our home to visit another land. Never got the opportunity to hunt mushrooms in Shadowhar. Wasn't very hospitable for that. Well, at least not for us. For the dwarves under the mountain, of course, that they grew that. They grew that prodigiously.
Yes, the frigid winds don't lend well to mushroom growth, I don't think.
Oh yeah, mushrooms are a wonderful delicacy in Shadowhar. Here, you flip over a log, there they are.
Yes. So you said there was a military station nearby.
Oh well, sure. You go to one of the two cities on the west coast, and there's you can pretty much go anywhere and find an airship or an encampment or something. But yeah, if you want to actually go to a base, you can go to either of them. Although I think you're going to find a lot more in Oldport.
It might be a start then. Thank thank you. That's actually very useful information.
Oh, of course. Look, it's northern hospitality. You know, up in the Empire, well, I was a grocer. And I was fortunate enough to be able to come down on the ships. I was told that there's a lot of interesting things here. So I brought my family and I brought my skills. And sure enough, I've been able to ply my trade and make a good living for myself. All I want to do is feed people. Honestly, I don't care if it's a Mesotopian mouth. Now, would I prefer if it was one of our, one of ours? Well, of course. They all want to savor the flavors of this place, too. There are so many rumors about the meals and the spices and everything that grows down here. I've only been able to indulge just a smidgen. But you know what? Food is food, and if we're going to cooperate, we're going to cooperate. So, I brought my family down. We set ourselves up. In Oldport. And now is the season. I was told, go to Green Shield, harvest mushrooms. Sure enough, I'm here. And you know what? We even saw those folks over there. He's pointing to the one that had the basket that's covered. We got along famously in the woods. With a little bit of tension. Something seemed like something was out there. But that got both of us on edge, and I think because of that mutual skittishness, it didn't lead to any fistfights.
Yeah, I did. While I was coming in, myself and my team were coming into town. We did smell something quite awful out there. It may have been a sign of that thing that you and those people over there might have encountered.
Maybe local rumors, legends tell of apparently some things lurking out here, defending the place. Seems kind of odd considering the creepy vibe we got. I don't know. Just kind of like we were being watched, but we were never interfered with. We were able to pick mushrooms, so were the other people. So if something's out there, it wasn't discriminating on whether they're Mesotopian or Shadowhar.
Alright, I see. That is actually quite useful. I might need to take my team out there to see if we can't find this creature lurking about.
Huh. Of course. Actually, wait, you know what? Not a lot of people go out there, huh?
No, it is quite dangerous.
You know what that would mean? That means people don't go out there to harvest mushrooms. Would your team be willing to take us? We'll go out. We won't interfere. Just let us pick mushrooms along the way. People don't go out there. There should be plenty. No one's going to miss them because they weren't going to harvest them anyway.
I will have to talk to them about it, but I don't see why that would be any major problem.
Excellent. That would be fantastic. They let you know, yeah, we're staying in this room. We'll be down here for breakfast. Come down and talk to us. Let us know how it turns out.
Yeah, I shall have a talk to them about it. Although, I must warn you though, if one of them does pick up a lead somewhere else in Mesomasca, we will have to move on in the pursuit of that lead. The dispatching of what they call the Sky-Shattered Leviathan is our #1 priority.
Hey, if you all want to chase rumors or legends or whatever passes for normal these days, that's not our business. We're just here for mushrooms. But if we can cooperate and we can get some more, so much the better. I could probably even give you some coin for the service of going along.
I will definitely ask them about it.
And if nothing else, if you're a man of the Empire, and you know what? I could tell. You got the cheekbones for it. But if you're a man of the Empire, and you help us, I got some old world spice I have with me that I'd be happy to share.
It's a very, very tempting incentive. As I said, I don't see any reason why they would say no. So, I will ask them about it though. As the only reason that no would be said is that a massive lead has been found and we must chase it.
Smash cut to the room 15 minutes later, the three of them yelling at you, "No!"
No. I can just imagine it's like, no, not a hope in hell.
Well, we can dream. Now, Mordecai, you're on your way back to the inn, and as you're doing so, you're passing by the stable. Now we pause and we go back to Bright 5 minutes earlier. There's a knock on your door, Bright.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I opened the door.
Ma'am, are you in there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
I was told to make you aware
You
that...
don't have to be muffled now. I've opened the door.
Oh, I'm sorry. As she's looking forward and then looks down. Oh, I'm sorry. I was told to give you a message that the party of 8 down below is leaving.
Yeah, I'm ready. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know.
Oh, do you need me to do anything?
No, that's all. I'll toss her a copper piece.
She catches it, looks like, are you sure?
Yeah, I just wanted to know.
Gives it a almost reflexively, like, don't take it personal, Bright, but she bites into it and then whoop,
It's
right
a
there,
copper
and
piece. Why would you bite a copper piece?
maybe she's been stiffed before on that with a fake. But she gives it a bite, gives it a flip, and deposits it in the front and takes
How
it
would
off.
you even make a fake copper piece? What would you make it out of?
Copper, but it just wouldn't be official.
Okay.
Bronze.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. So, I mean, if she's only giving me a message, I don't feel like she needs a really big tip for that. Okay. So, I mean, we'll execute the plan as planned. You know what I needed to do.
I understand. What must be done? All right, so you go and you hover over your crystal ball, and it takes you approximately 5 minutes to set up, or at least for them to eventually pay their bill and all start staggering out after they've loaded up on beer and food. Though it looks like your friend, well, at least the more friendly of the 8, didn't quite get as smashed, and he has a maybe appropriately called, he has a shit-eating grin on his face as they're all walking out of the front of the place.
Yes, he certainly does.
And now we go to Mordecai. Mordecai, as you're walking towards the Tumbled Wench, of course there's a stable because people ride their horses through town, and you need overnight lodging. Well, Bright, can you tell Mordecai what he sees, hears, and/or smells, or even feels? I don't know the splatter distance on this. You might be in the splash zone, Mordecai. I don't know. But Bright, can you narrate what Mordecai is going to experience before reaching the interior of the Tumbled Wench?
Well, only if you walk in through the stable, and only if you walk in through the bad part of the stable. So
well,
you probably won't be in the splash zone. The spell description does not give a splash area.
This could happen, but also for some comic relief, we're going to say that the stable boys are on top of it, and there's just a big wagon full and ready to be deposited as night soil back out into a field to help grow things when the spring comes around. So we'll say that it's pretty well concentrated right there outside the stable.
Okay, so as you walk by, so if you're walking by the stable, you'd feel like this burst of air pressure, not like a shockwave, but just like all of a sudden a bunch of stuff teleported in. You're familiar with it from Dimension Door. And then all of a sudden all these guys materialize right over the wagon full of poop. And then they just drop right into it. Yeah, they all go, ah! One of them yells, I hate manure!
I know what happened here.
That is my favorite movie. And
McFly.
yeah, that's all. That's all that you'll see. And then as you walk, yeah, as you keep walking in, you'll just see. Well, now technically, they do get saving throws.
Technically.
And my DC is 20, so assuming that they don't have a bonus to their wisdom saves.
Probably not.
If they're just level 0 mooks.
Yeah, because they're moods. So
Oh, one of them came really close.
one of them appears just slightly after the others.
Yeah. 5 plop down and right is like, oh, I hate manure. Yeah. And
So yeah, that's all. There's a big splat, and if there's like a stable boy there, he's probably really surprised. Like he's gonna be probably closer than you, and the blast of air from the teleporting in is gonna it won't knock him down because it's not that kind of effect, but it'll certainly startle him, and he'll turn around and he'll see all these guys just pop right in.
The stable boy had finished getting everything clean. Yes, I did it. It's clean for the night. I'm gonna get off my shift. He just has his poop scoop and he's getting ready. This happens and just turns around and just and drops the pitchfork and just looks over to you, Mordecai. What happened?
I don't know, friend. Maybe those gentlemen will tell you not to upset a gnome.
I love how the automatic suspicion is this was Bright. You're not wrong for doing it or thinking it, but I love that it's the automatic suspicion.
I heard all of the guys laughing as I was going out of the building.
Yeah.
I saw Bright talking to the wine guy.
Yeah.
So my assumption is something upset her. You don't upset Bright. She's too
And
cute
now
of a
they're
being
in
for that.
manure.
And now they're in manure. It's harmless. Harmless pranks are Bright's shtick.
There was one
That's
that was
the fact.
kind of not too harmless, but that's back in the olden
But
days.
the harmless pranks are the Bright I know.
They
Wait a
they
minute.
are.
Which one wasn't harmless enough?
The
Because there was Tiba, I covered him with ink, and then there was the guy that I dropped into the river, and then there was the guy in the flower shop whose pots I enlarged, and then there was let's see.
I whispered it just in case because I don't.
Oh.
That was a between us thing, and I don't know if you wanted to reveal that or not.
Yeah, and there was one that wasn't quite as harmless. Although nobody was hurt, but it was definitely terrifying. So, yeah, nobody was hurt. That's definitely an after the game one.
Okay.
We'll talk about that one.
All right.
I don't think anybody in the party ever learned about it.
No, that's why I whispered it to
It's
you.
completely a side session. Okay, it's true. It's pretty intense.
Yep. All right. So
That's the Bright I know, and I know she's capable of such things, and I appreciate that about her. She'll spend spell plots to make things a harmless prank.
So the stable boy's gonna go get the night manager to tell on the people who messed up his job. So they're gonna have a further comeuppance in some variety, and there's a young gentleman, Mordecai, as you're passing in, who's walking out because he wasn't getting caught up in that. He walks out a couple steps later. There's a good smile on his face. He simply wishes you a wonderful evening, sir. He gives you a little bit of a flourish, and like looks over towards the stables on the outside, and then it's his turn to just kind of go like ha ha, and then he starts walking off towards the communal cabin, telling them that they all need to take a bath before they're allowed in because he's going to tell the foreman. And Mordecai, you make your entrance into the Tumbled Wench. There's a Norelai who is probably... I mean, look, you gave her a gold piece, and these lattes are... I mean, they're expensive, but she could have up to 10 of them if she really wanted to. So I don't know if she's, like, drunk on pumpkin spice, and is just, like, at the table. Mordecai, let me tell you something.
I mean, she probably would have bought some, like, treats on the side.
Yeah,
I like
you can
the
have
idea
whatever.
that I like the idea that pumpkin spice is intoxicant for tieflings.
Not
Oh,
impossible.
I do like that idea.
I mean, what in
I
Twin
mean, that-
Peaks, sour milk was alcohol for aliens. So that I don't mind if pumpkin might have a slightly.
I'm only gonna say that would imply that Norlai's been drinking alcohol for 10 years.
Norway, high functioning alcoholic.
She's just a sugar addict.
Yeah, just the sweet tooth. Yeah, maybe something about the digestive system of tieflings where they sort of like almost like ferment stuff in their own stomach. So like you put in a lot of grains and they just sort of like get self-drunk. I don't know, whatever. If you want it, you can have it. I'm happy with it. Otherwise, Norlai, if you just want to pound down a couple pumpkin lattes as you would normally, and then order a plate of cookies and some other things that Mordecai's going to come in and just shake his head at, you're welcome to do so.
Yeah, but no, if you, but no, that's actually a thing. Little bit of backstory for that. There is actually a dude who suffers from a disease, from a syndrome called autobrewery syndrome, where he actually ferments. Like, he actually creates alcohol in his stomach, and he's pretty much almost always drunk.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What a that would make for a very weird life. We'll discuss tiefling biology at a later time. Tonight, apparently, was flawed lessons in gnomish biology. But yes, Mordecai and Norlai, you're there. Cypher, you finish discussing with your Shadowhar friends, ? And you all are going to be able to retire for the evening. However, speaking of which, I'm going to have to do that soon, and probably you all too. We went over time, and I'm sorry, Lethality, if I'm making you late for your show.
Before we go to bed, I
no,
want to put up an alarm around the room as usual.
As usual. Very well.
Good idea. But no, you're not making me late. We've kind of moved the show an hour back
Oh.
because of our real life work commitments for some people.
All right. Well, let us know on Discord when you go live.
Yes.
And what I will do, and I appreciate, obviously, you as my players. I love you and I appreciate you. Another fun session. And I guess tomorrow we're going to have the discussion about Tag-Along Shadowhar, and or even going to explore the hill based on the information that Mordecai got. You know, the answers themselves are straightforward, but who knows what that could mean. But we are going to go raid someone. He should still be broadcasting. Yeah, he is. All right, everyone. We can still talk about role-playing and other fun things, as we are going to go visit Macabre Derek, who is currently playing Diablo 3. And so speaking of like dark, brooding, necromantic atmosphere, that's just Derek, not even Diablo. And then we add in Diablo.
Yeah, you got gothic horror, old ruins, and demons, and...
That's just his new place, yeah. It's So I want to thank you all for another awesome Tuesday. We'll see you back for Tuesday. Wednesday through Saturday here, we'll be building a campaign off of 4 random characters we made last week as we march into adventure throughout the month of March. And, oh, yep, he's playing a necromancer or something, because there's a big fleshy thing following him around. And some
Oh, yep,
skeletons.
nope, he probably summoned it.
All right, so we're gonna go over. Say hi if you got the Derek raid emote. Obviously, drop that. A lot of Matty Morgs love, but let's go over. Say hi to a friend of the channel, and I will see you all around later. And I'll be on Discord too. Thank you, everyone, and bye bye.
Yeah, so
Bye,
I've
everybody.
already seen that I dropped health a few times, so.